I've spoken at length before about motivation and how everyone's got it backwards, but I'm going to do it again because I have different angles of looking at this. I want you to be very clear on this concept. If you are waiting for motivation, it's never going to come. That feeling that you're waiting for, that little spurt of, oh, I want to do stuff, guess what? It's a fleeting feeling. It comes every now and again, but you can create it. Because I used to do this. I used to sit there and wait endlessly for motivation, and it ended up in wasted days, wasted time, endlessly scrolling social media, watching motivational videos to try and get myself hyped up to actually do what it was I was supposed to do. And then I decided, because this is why I think the way I do, I decided to start doing what it was I was supposed to do, irregardless of whether or not I was feeling motivated in the first place. And you know what's funny? Is the motivation that I was looking for came as a byproduct of the momentum that I forced myself to build. I want you to think about this for a second. Freight trains don't just up and they're off to full speed. They never worked like that. They never will. Unless, of course, rail guns and freight trains mix themselves together. When you look at a freight train, it moves extremely slowly when it starts. It has to force itself up to speed. But once it is up to speed, guess what happens? That motherfucker is hard to stop. It's damn near impossible to stop. Why? Because it has momentum. It is the same thing with motivation. If you find it difficult to go to the gym and start working out and do it again the next day and the next day and the next day. Eventually what's going to happen is you are going to have forced yourself to go to the gym so many times that you're just used to it at this point. Not going now feels weird. Going is normal, which means you have motivation to go, because if you don't go, you're like, ugh, today's feels weird. Same thing for working your absolute hardest in your career, your schooling, your business. When you force yourself to do these things, when you force yourself to try your actual best, what ends up happening is any time that you catch yourself slacking, any time that you catch yourself slowing down, you are going to think the same thing you did with the gym. Ugh, this feels weird. Feels weird to not try after a certain point. It feels weird to not give your best efforts after a certain point. Same thing goes for relationships. Some people genuinely look for motivation to love the person that they love. They look for motivation to do something romantic, to be nice to them, to take them out, to do this, to do that. Brother, if you just do it enough, guess what? It becomes second nature. This one is a lot easier to find genuine motivation for, but sometimes people get into a routine and then they get bored and then things slack off. Don't do that. Don't do that. Your motivation for whatever it is that you are seeking motivation in life, it will come. But it only comes as a byproduct of momentum. It only comes when you actually and actively try to do the bloody thing. You don't need to sit there and wait for a song to pop in your head and then all of a sudden you're motivated and now you'll go train. Now you'll work hard. Now you're going to be a positive influence in the world. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Create it. It is a choice like anything else. You can hold your hand out in front of you, close it and open it right now. You chose to do that, which means you can choose to get up off your lazy ass and go to the gym. You can get up off your lazy ass and start working. You can get up off your lazy ass and tell your family that you love them. Tell your boyfriend or girlfriend that you love them. Do something nice for somebody when you're out and about in public. If you see an old lady struggling to get some big cases of water into a vehicle, you can go over, help them load it up, and then she's going to tell you about how she's never seen a young person do that before, and she appreciates it so much, and she's got this big party she's planning, and you have no idea how much this helped, blah, 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 blah. It's a very specific scenario. Ask me how I know it. Do good in the world. Actually try your best. If you genuinely are seeking motivation to do the things that you know you're supposed to do, you already have it. If you want to be in great shape, if you want to be financially successful, if you want to be loved and adored by everyone that you ever meet, or by the people who you care about, guess what? You'll have it. Because the motivation is sitting right there in front of you. You just need to use it. But if you decide, you know what, I'm not going to do what it is I'm supposed to do because I don't feel motivated, well, that's your problem. I just know how motivation works, and I use it to my advantage. Understood? Fantastic. My name is Christopher Strobach. I get on here and I rant about random anecdotal mindsets that I happen to have that I found are extremely useful to me. My hope being is that they're extremely useful to you. If you found any value in anything that I just said, the only thing that I'm going to ask is that you make use of it. If you want to connect with me, talk to me, message me, anything along those lines, there's various buttons in the description. You can click the buttons. You cannot click the buttons. I really don't care. What I do care about is that you get after it, kick some ass, and I'll see you in the next one.